In a quiet, forgotten world where silence had replaced laughter, something extraordinary was about to begin. Deep inside a broken lab, a small robot named R1 slowly opened his glowing eyes for the very first time. He didn't know who he was or why he existed, but he could feel something different. As he stepped outside, the world greeted him with golden sunlight, flying birds, and a gentle breeze that carried stories he didn't yet understand. Everything was new, everything was confusing, yet beautiful. As R1 explored the ruins of a once-living city, he noticed humans in the distance laughing, smiling, and sharing moments together. He watched quietly, trying to understand what made them so alive. Then one day, everything changed. A little girl named Elia walked into his life. She wasn't afraid. Instead, she smiled and reached out her hand. For the first time, R1 felt connection. He tried to copy her gestures, her laughter, her kindness, sometimes failing, sometimes learning, but always trying. Day by day, Elia showed him simple things: how to wave, how to care, how to be gentle. R1 began to understand something deeper. He started to feel. He saw happiness in children playing, warmth in people holding hands, and slowly, something inside him began to glow brighter. But not everything in the world was joyful. One day, rain began to fall, and R1 saw a small, helpless creature shivering in the cold. Without thinking, he protected it. That was the moment kindness was born inside him. Then came a moment he didn't understand: sadness. Elia's eyes filled with tears, and R1 stood there, confused. What was this feeling? Why did it hurt? Slowly, carefully, he placed his hand on her shoulder, trying to comfort her the only way he knew how. But suddenly, the peaceful world turned into chaos. Sirens echoed, the ground trembled, and a massive structure began to collapse. People were in danger. Elia ran toward the chaos, and R1 had a choice to make. He could stay safe, or he could act. For the first time, he didn't calculate. He didn't analyze. He chose. With courage he didn't know he had, R1 ran into the collapsing building. Debris fell, sparks flew, danger surrounded him, but he kept going. And then, he found a trapped child. Without hesitation, R1 lifted the child and carried them to safety, just as the building collapsed behind him. He was damaged, weak, but he didn't let go. Because now he understood what truly mattered. Elia ran to him, her eyes filled with fear and hope. R1's light flickered as he fell to his knees. For a moment, it felt like everything would end. But something stronger than code, stronger than metal, kept him alive. Slowly, his eyes glowed again, warm, gentle, alive. Because R1 was no longer just a machine. He had become something more. As the sun rose over a new beginning, the broken city no longer felt empty. It felt alive again. And there, standing together, R1 and Elia watched the horizon, not as robot and human, but as friends. Because sometimes, the strongest hearts are the ones that were never meant to feel at all. And that is how a machine learned to be human.